How's it going, everybody? This is Greg from Brooklyn Music Factory. We are going to take a look at the beat sequencer in GarageBand for iOS. So that's for iPads and iPhones. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start a session. Create song right here. And here it is. This is our drums. All right. Not to be confused with our smart drummer, which shows a little character playing drums here. This is the one that we want. I did a little video on acoustic drums. But we are going to take a look at the beat sequencer today. So let's open that up. All right, so first things first, the beat sequencer is a grid, basically. And it also shows you the different parts of the drum kit that we'll be using over here. The grid goes from left to right, and this is one measure. So it's actually 4 beats altogether. And I'll show you where everything is. This is beat 1. This box right here. And then the rest are 16th notes within that beat. So this is 1, E, and, Okay, so this is the and of beat 1. Okay, and the next one, see how there's a little bit of a space right there? That's to show you that this is the start of beat 2. 2, E, and, This is the start of beat 3, E, and 4, E, and So if we are just talking about 8th notes, let's say we're not doing 16th notes. So let's say that's too much for us. We're doing 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now one more thing to note. Up here you see some numbers. These numbers do not correlate with what's happening in this grid. These numbers are the measure counts. So this is like a bigger view of the measures. We have 8 measures programmed here. So right now we are just looking at measure 1. We're just looking at this tiny gap. And whatever we do here is going to happen once there, and then it's going to repeat itself over and over for 8 measures. So don't get confused by those numbers up there. So again, beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. I hope that made sense. Let us start programming some things. So this symbol here is our kick drum. Okay, so we have our kick drum, snare, hand claps, hi-hat closed, hi-hat open, floor tom, rack tom, and some clicky drumsticks. All of this stuff you can edit, so you can make it, you can kind of change it up if you want to edit it and have it so that the snare drum's at the top. You could do all sorts of things. But this makes a lot of sense the way that it's set up right now. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to get it started. I'm going to put my cursor over to the side here. And I'm going to start pressing some buttons, but you'll see whatever I press gets lit up. So we're going to start with beat 1 on the kick drum. And the minute you touch it, it starts. That's if nothing is programmed. We're going to go down here. This is the power button. So as you can see, it's looping. Cool. And it's just playing beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So I'm going to press that power button, and that stops it from looping. So now you can start to program things without it playing. So we have beat 1. So let's just make a beat. Let's make a really basic drum beat. So we have beat 1, and usually on beat 2 is our snare drum. Beat 3 we'll do a kick drum, and let's do 3 and. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll do a snare drum for beat 4. Okay, so that's a kick snare pattern that's very, very common for drummers. And let's go up to settings. I just want to adjust one thing. Let's bring the tempo down. That tempo is kind of fast. I want to bring it down to like 80, maybe. We'll see how that sounds. All right, so I'm going to press power. I'm going to power it on, and we're going to see what it sounds like. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm into that. So I'm going to press power. And actually, no, I'm going to leave it on. What's super cool about Beat Sequencer is that you could do edits and add things on the fly. So I'm going to program some 8th notes. I'm going to have the 8th notes do, I'm going to program a hi-hat doing eighth notes. I'm getting ahead of myself. Again, I'm going to put my cursor over here for now. Check this out. If you're really quick, you can do it without it looping. There you go. Cool. So that's a basic beat. And then if you wanted to get crazy, you could do 16th notes. Nice. And then if you wanted to get rid of all of that, just swipe over it all in one foul swoop like this. Boom, you just erased it. So if you just kind of swipe over things, it ends up erasing them. And similarly, if you trace things randomly like this, let's get rid of all those. So again, I'm just kind of tracing what I did. The great thing about Beat Sequencer is like nothing sounds bad. So you can kind of go nuts and come up with some really, really cool beats, totally random. All right, so again, I'm going to do what I had before of just like a real basic beat here. All right, so I just turned the power off. That's all fine and good, but we haven't recorded this yet. We're just like editing it, but we don't have it down in our session yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to press record. We're going to hit this up here, and then you're going to see that this bar right here is going to start to, I think it turns red when it's recording, and then it's green when it's all done. So let's try that out. Let's record this. Oh, and let's do one other thing. Let's, can we like add a crash? You know what? I'm going to show this to you later. Let's do the basic stuff first. Let's hit record. Ready? Cool, so it's recording right now. It's not recording my vocals, which is great. It's just recording the beat sequencer, so I could speak to you while this is happening. As you can see, we've done 4 measures, going on 5 measures of this drum loop, right? And then I think when it's done, it just stops recording, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Yep, so now it's done recording. It's now green, which means you're good to go, and it's playing back what we did. All right, so I'm going to go up to stop. And then if you go to this view, that's your session view right there. And there you go. There's your drum beat. But let's say we have more to the song to add. So we're going to go up to that plus sign. And let's just, let's not worry about the sections for now. We're just going to add to this section. Section A is just going to be our whole song. Let's make it like 50 measures. Click off of it. It automatically loops it for you, which is nice. But let's say we want to do more editing. We want the drums to sound different, not just that one bit. So we're going to select that track. So all I did was just click on it there. And then you see that it has a little like circular arrow thing. That's just showing you that it's looping. I'm grabbing it from that end, and I'm bringing it back there. Cool. So now we have all this empty space. We can record new stuff. Let's say 8 measures. We are going to do this drum beat. I'm going to double click it. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to bring my cursor 8 more measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to hold it there. Oh, no, maybe just a tap. Yep, just a tap. And we're going to paste it. There you go. So now I want to come up with a new drum beat. Let's say this is like that's our verse. This is our chorus. And then we're going to go back to a verse or something like that. So let's click back. We're going to double click back on our beat sequencer. And we're going to record something new. So I'm going to scroll, like I'm going to hold this section down and then like swipe up to find this plus sign. I'm going to click on that. So this lets us add a new part of the kit. And I want to add a crash symbol. And I think it lets you preview it too. Let's see. Let's add another one. Oh, cool. So if you just press those, the cowbell sounds funny. If you press the arrow, you get to preview all the different sounds. Okay, so we're not going to add anything else, though. We're just going to add a crash. I want the crash to happen on beat 1. Now, if I'm thinking about being a real drummer, it's probably unlikely that the drummer is going to crash and hi-hat on beat 1. So I'm actually going to take away that hi-hat. I'm going to have a crash. Let's just see what that sounds like first. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. We can leave this right there. We're just going to turn it on. Okay, so maybe that's like our chorus beat, or maybe, you know what? Maybe instead of a hi-hat, it could be, does it have a ride? Oh, it does have a ride. Or that was the crash. Okay, so it's not like a real crash. It's like a crash ride. I dig it. So let's do this instead. Let's do a different kick. Whoops. Let's do a different kick snare pattern. We'll do boom, crack, crack. Boom, crack. I can't. You know what? This is what beat sequencer is for. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds pretty good. I want it to be boom, crack, crack. Yeah, so I want to take away this one. I want to be doom, da, da, ah. Let's see what that sounds like. Yep. So this is a really good way of kind of getting a lay of the land rhythmically, without getting bogged down with actual quarter notes and eighth notes. It lets you see it in grid mode, and then you start thinking musically. Oh yeah, I'm like, that's an eighth note there, or that's a 16th note. So this is a good opportunity for you to level up your rhythmic notation. Okay, so the other thing is I want it to be these open hi-hats. So I'm just moving these over. Okay, so I'm deleting the ones that are on that row, and I'm just putting them, processing them in there, programming them in there. So let's see what that sounds like. Ooh, that is funky. So let's say, let's be really crazy here for a moment. We recorded like an electronic drum kit sound for the verse. Let's say for the chorus part here, this blank section, let's say we want it to be a real drum kit sound, a less electronic one, and then it goes back for the verse. So I'm gonna go down here. This says modern 808. So this is like a specific beat sequencer drum machine. This is a very famous drum machine that they are simulating here, an 808. I'm going to go up here to acoustic, and I'm going to use, in GarageBand in general, I like the retro rock drum kit. It sounds really good, in my opinion. I'm going to do done, and we're going to see what that sounds like now. Ready? Cool. Very different. So let's record that. So again, I'm putting my cursor where I want it to record. So I want it to record from the start of measure 9, and then we're going to try to stop it right in time as it lands on the start of that next 8 bars. So let's try this out. Ready? I'm going to hit record. So this is our crazy chorus beat that we've made using a real drum kit sound. And like I said, we're going to do our best to stop this, because if we don't do it right on 17, it ends up recording some of the MIDI the MIDI from the last track. Let's see. Ready? Here we go. Okay. Ooh, I heard a crash, so I feel like I messed it up. So I went into session mode. Dude, Greg, you messed up. So it hit the very, very beginning of measure 17. It hit that crash. So I think it automatically deletes it. Oh no. Oh, it deleted it. So no biggie. You can, copy and paste over there and reclaim that MIDI that was deleted. But this is MIDI. So this is already recorded drum stuff. So that gets a little sticky, right? Because then you're like, oh, shoot. Well, we've edited our drum beat. So there's a few different ways of getting around that. But I think for now, my quick fix would be I would just go over here and I would just copy it again. This would be my quick fix. I'd delete this and just paste it. Cool. Remember, when you're pasting something, it's where this is. So you have to make sure that the cursor is where... I'm having a hard time speaking today. You have to make sure that this is where you want it to be. So if you want to start pasting at measure 17, you got to make sure that your cursor is there. Okay, so let's take a listen. You ready? I'm going to bring our thing back there, and then we're going to press play. Oh! You know what I just found out? Didn't know this was a thing. It made it the acoustic drums the entire time, which actually sounds really cool. Oh, see? Here I am teaching you things, and we're finding out things together. So, when you change the beat sequencer, it will actually change the recording that you did. I thought because we printed this recording here, that it would save it with the beat sequencer of the 808. But when we changed it, oh my goodness, it changed even the stuff that we printed, the recorded stuff. It changed it to the acoustic drum kit. So maybe if you wanted to go back and forth between the two, you would add another track, beat sequencer, use that 808, and then toggle back and forth between what you want. Oh, let's try something nuts. What if we take this, bring it down, and then leave this space empty? Try this. Ready? I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to bring it down. But, oh, see how it's sliding? I want to make sure that it's back over at the start. Dude, let's see if this works. Try this. Oh, yep, we're back. So here we go. We have the 808 sound here. This spot is blank, right? And then we're going to get up here, and we're going to hear the rock sound. So you know what? While this is happening, let's move this. There. 1, 2, chorus, drum kit. Cool. So that was a fun experiment. I don't think that those two kits sound good in the same song, but that was a really cool way of experimenting with our beat sequencer, trying out different things. The main thing you need to remember with the beat sequencer is that you have to record, right? So that's the main thing that we got to think about here, is that when you get to a certain spot, say on measure 29, we want to record this crazy thing. Right, so it's playing, but it's not recording. So I'm going to go up here and record it. And stop. And then I'm going to go back up to that session view up here. Look, so now we've recorded some new stuff. And then, this is going to sound really crazy. Let's move it up and see what it sounds like on an acoustic kit. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we got really crazy with the beat sequencer. This video is very long, so thanks for sticking with me. That was fun. Have a blast with this. I'd love to see what you all create with these ways of programming drums. I'll talk to you soon.